TCU quarterback Josh Hoover, off week for the Frogs at 6-2 on the year, and 4 really important games. All of them are important coming up as well. Paul Catalina. I'm David Smoak, 365 Sports. Man, it's a grind. We don't play the game, but I'm sure it's a grind. What's it like to have just a little bit of time to just decompress this week, and what's it been like this week?
Well, it's come at a really good time. We had some guys get banged up over the last couple weeks. We played for, I guess, 8 weeks in a row. So it's been great to have some time to just relax and get our bodies feeling good again. I think everybody at this point in the year is a little bit banged up, just kind of how this sport goes, and I think it came at a really good time. And you kind of mentioned the next 4 games, and we know what's ahead of us. We know what's at stake. We know the opportunity that's in front of us, and we're excited about the challenge. The energy in our building is the best it's been all year, and guys are focused, locked in, and ready to go. So we couldn't be more excited about that opportunity, and we're excited to do it.
Josh, you have been in this offense now for almost 4 years. Is it second nature to you now? Like, can you kind of say, like, if I just drew a picture on the board, could you, before I even finish, tell me what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think the beauty in being in Coach Briles' offense for the last couple of years, it's he's done a great job of doing what fits me and finding ways that make me feel comfortable, and I feel super comfortable with what we do. I try to get to the point before every game to where I can know what he's going to call out of every formation and have kind of a list of things going through my head about what might be coming, and sometimes I can guess. So I think just being in the offense, being able to be around the system and just understand what they're trying to do over these last 3 years has really helped me, and I feel super comfortable with what we do.
What does it mean? Obviously, wins and losses, what the team does, but there's another list that came out today. You're on it. There's other lists that have been out. You're on it, like every week, and also for the awards at the end of the year. How do you handle those, and what do those mean?
Well, I think, I don't really think too much about it. Obviously it's a blessing to even be, I guess, in the running for something like that. To me, it's a testament to your team, testament to the guys around me. I think anyone who's played this position, they understand that you can't go out there and be successful unless you have guys around you. And you got to have receivers, you got to have offensive linemen, running backs, tight ends, and then you got to have a great defense to put you in good situations and get you the ball back. And so special teams ties into that, field position, and all these things matter when it comes down to those individual awards. And so I think, for me, it's just a testament to our team, our coaching staff, the support we have here in Fort Worth. And there's so many things that pour into that. And I think quarterbacks sometimes, you get a little bit too much credit when things go right. And, you tend to get all the credit when things go wrong too. So it's part of the position. And I think of those awards just kind of a testament to our team and the success we've had.
How do you clean up and finish drives in the final stretch of the season? That's been a little bit of a bugaboo for you guys, and you have this really prolific offense. Do you see that you guys are kind of getting close to fixing a couple of those things? I mean, you ran the ball great against Baylor. That was something that was missing in the offense. Do you see those things starting to tighten up a little bit?
Yeah, I think we've had some different scenarios that have kind of kept us from reaching our full potential. And so I think that's always the goal, is reaching your potential as an offense, as a team, and then individually. I think we're all focused on finding ways, like you said, to be a little bit more clean, for 4 quarters. We've had games where we've played really well for 3 quarters, good games haven't really played a game where we've played, solid for 4 quarters. And so I think that's the chase for us, is to go out there and play a 60-minute football game. We played against Baylor, played really well for about 57 minutes, and the last 3 minutes, didn't play our best, and it almost hurt us. So I think it's important for us to know that. I think we understand that as an offense and as a team, and we're taking the right steps in the right direction. We're continuing to evolve. I think the hard thing that people don't understand is that it's a long grind, and everybody wants you to be at your best, and you expect to be at your best, early in the season. But I think this is where we're going to find our stride these next 4 games. And we have the momentum. We've got 2 in a row, 2 big wins in a row, one on the road against West Virginia. We had guys banged up, just found a way to scrap a win out and a hard place to play. And then I think that momentum's carrying on into this bye week, and should help us, just continue to execute, get on the same page, and find ways to get the ball in the end zone. That's the goal. And so I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm excited about the momentum of the team.
Your next focus is obviously Iowa State, but down the road, a part of those 4 games are teams that are right above you or right there with you at the top of the Big 12. Do you notice that when you look at that?
We do, and we know that we're about to play 4 really good football teams. Iowa State is just as good as anybody in the conference. Maybe their record doesn't show that. They're not there's some teams that don't even have a loss, but Iowa State is they're really, really good. They're a great team. They're physical. They do what they do really, really well. They're well coached. And I'd say they're at the top of the list with anybody in our conference. They have the capability to beat anybody week in and week out. And so I think we understand that. We understand what these next 4 games mean. And we understand we're going to have to play at our best. And I think that's who we are. I know that's who I am. We're going to elevate to the times. This is a big time in our program and big time for us individually, for our team. And, you just kind of sense in the locker room, sense in our meeting rooms, the urgency that we have, to go and execute and play well, to finish out this season and get us where we want to go. We talked about, we had, 2, unfortunate losses, didn't play our best football, and felt like those 2 kind of slipped away from us, but we still have everything in front of us, and so that's kind of the beauty of this conference, and that it's competitive week in and week out, and anybody can really win any week. I mean, there's no favorites in my book. I mean, every week it's a competitive game. These are 1-score possession games each and every week, and we anticipate that. We're ready for it, and we're excited about the opportunity ahead of us.
I'm sure you'd love to have a blowout in there sometime.
No, we take those when we get them for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't turn down a free lunch. You don't when it happens, and you roll. Coach Dykes is such a good QB coach, whisperer, whatever you want to say, monitor. How much has he affected your development along with Coach Briles, who's also a really, really good quarterback developer?
Well, I think you look at the history of Coach Dykes and who he's coached. You got a lot of big-time names in the NFL: Jared Goff, Nick Foles, Davis Webb. The list goes on forever. You can count as far as you want to go back, all the way to the Tech days. As long as he's done it, he's had good quarterbacks, and so I think obviously he knows what he's doing as far as recruiting, guys and getting guys that get developed, and then hiring good coordinators to go put those guys in successful positions. And I think Coach Briles has played a huge role in my development. I mean, I attribute to a lot of my personal success to him and the things he's taught me playing this position. Obviously, you're only going to be as good as a system that you're in and the capabilities and the opportunities that you're going to have. And so he does a great job of giving me opportunities to be successful. Same with the rest of our offense. And, I can't say enough about Coach Briles and, who he is as a person. Most importantly, he's made a tremendous impact on my life, just personally, being around him every day. He's a winner. There's certain coaches that just are winners, and he's a winner. He's got the it factor, and I think everybody sees that. And so that kind of rubs off on other players and coaches, and he's done a tremendous job with our offense. And, we're looking forward to continuing that and then just getting better.
How ironic is it that Kendal offered you one? I think when he was at Arkansas, when you were at Rockwall Heath, Sonny Dykes wanted you. He was the head coach at SMU, and now you've been playing for both of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Looking back on high school, didn't have many offers. Coach Briles offered me pretty early on at Arkansas, and it was kind of a weird time during COVID, and they ended up taking a transfer, so I never really took a quarterback in my class. But had a little bit of a relationship with him and really liked him. My high school coach, Mike Spradlin, coached with his dad Art at Houston, and there's a long connection there between some of the guys I played for in high school and the Briles tree, and so that's pretty special. And obviously, Coach Dykes wanted, they recruited me at SMU, and I really liked SMU. I told him that whenever he came to TCU, we talked again when I ended up deciding to come here. I said, Coach, there was nothing against y'all at SMU. I didn't like the place. I liked you guys, and I liked what y'all did on the football field, but I just didn't want to live in Dallas. And now I say that and it's a headline, it looks good for the TCU guys, but Coach Dykes is, I'm so appreciative for the opportunity I've had to play here and for both of them. And it's been cool to see how it all plays out.
Couple more questions for Josh Hoover, TCU quarterback. So I talked to Mike Spradlin on the phone earlier today.
We've both known him for a long time
since he was at Temple. And of course you mentioned the connection at Houston too. So he told me that he was at Rio Doso playing golf with you and your father, and he just can't say enough about you. However, he talked about your durability, didn't miss practice, pain threshold, all of that. Games against South Lake Carroll when they just were gut-wrenching, but you were there. He then said that one game you were about to play and you just didn't look right. You didn't look like you felt very good. It was in 2021, and you're walking around and you're coughing and you're sneezing and all this, and he kept asking you, how are you doing? And you said, I'm fine. I'll be okay. You played the game, and the next week he goes, how are you feeling? You look great. He goes, that thing with taste and smell, that's overrated. You went through that week and you had COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, now I can say it. Nobody's gonna get mad at me. But then, they probably would have had me exiled to an island or something. But Coach Spradlin was great. I have a great relationship with him. Talk to him all the time, and he played. If anybody's made a difference in my life, from a football perspective, a leadership perspective, I've got to put him at the top of it. He's shown me what it's like to show up to work and be grateful and be excited. And his thing was always win the day, and so I think I'd carried that mindset on into college. And, touching on that game, I was a little bit sick. I think I actually fell asleep in my locker at halftime,
Wow.
So wasn't feeling good. But, I think just the way that, maybe I'm wired, maybe the way I grew up, my parents, there was always just a mindset of find a way to play. And so whether it be, taping fingers together or taping your foot up because you've got foot drop or, whatever it may be. I remember being a little kid and, being sick, and my dad, telling the doctor that you don't need to tell him he's sick. He doesn't know he's sick unless he is. So, it's just all, the way I grew up. And I think Coach Spradlin had that same, frame of mind. And I think we meshed well together because of that. And, I love the way he coached, had that old school, hard, intense mentality, but he was the ultimate player's coach. And definitely, was able to love on players and loved on me. And he was the first person that really told me that I could be a college quarterback. And I think that belief that he instilled in me, has served me well.
Yeah, that 28-minute halftime really comes in handy when you got COVID and you need you need a nap between.
I wanted to tell him to let the bands keep playing. Let them keep playing.
Hey, do that one again. That was great. Tell them that was awesome. Keep going. They need an encore.
Yeah, they need to go even extend it. Your father was a player at Colorado State. He's a businessman, entrepreneur. We know all of that. So he's got that football mentality too, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. He played linebacker, and so he always told us to play quarterback, and you can wear a skirt and a red jersey and just have fun at practice. So he played linebacker, and I think that his mentality and the toughness and finding a way to play and being there for your teammates and making other people more important than yourself is kind of carried on into my mindset. And this is if people that play this game understand that it's a grind and you're going to have to play hurt. There's a difference between pain and injury, and if you're going to play this sport, you better be good playing with both of them. So that's kind of the way he always told us, and it's just part of this game. Everybody deals with it.
Enjoy the rest of the off week, and good luck starting next week when you go against the Cyclones and then the rest of the schedule. Love watching you play. You're putting up huge numbers, 6-2. Thanks for your time. We appreciate you sharing it with us.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Y'all take care.
Josh Hoover, TCU quarterback, with us. Paul Catalina, David Smoak, 365 Sports.